let's get to this main event, bro. I want to give it its time as just due because this fight is a fun one. This is one of those fights, man, where it wasn't about getting the two biggest names together. It wasn't about getting the two highest rankings together, the most Instagram followers. This was a fight put together based on X's and O's, and not even it also was gave each guy kind of a path to a title shot. But I just love we don't always get that, right? Main events, especially headliners, it needs to be cachet, it needs to be off curating, it needs to be marketable. This fight it seemed to be just like an old school, let's make a good fight matchup. And
it's exactly what this
9
was.
versus 10, so it made sense. But you don't see a lot of 9 versus 10 main events. So I think that kind of points to I don't know, this fight. Every MMA fan got a little chubby when they heard this one announced.
For sure, because, you just think about fight styles, what these guys do. Both throw a lot of high-velocity kicks, a lot of really good striking and kick combinations. They're just creative and active strikers, both these guys. So, and they don't love to grapple. They have good defensive grappling, but not good offensive grappling. So if neither guy has good offensive grappling, they're not going to grapple, which is tremendous.
This fight we're good, though. It's the last fight. This fight was going to stay on the feet. It was going to be a banger, and I think we got what we wanted, man. We had Edson Barboza, legend, former lightweight contender, now fighting at featherweight. Looked pretty damn good lately at featherweight, beating a guy like we really like, Shane Burgos. Minus 120 favorite. I was a little surprised because they were dead even on the money line, but the money came in on Barboza, which I get it. You have more sample size, but I thought if anything, the money was going to come in on Giga.
Me too. Being the younger guy that has, if you ask me, he's a slightly more dynamic and complete striker, right? I think it's a two-way street. I think Barboza is more of a kick-heavy fighter. I don't think his punching and his elbows are as good as Giga's, whereas Giga has really good boxing to go, good kickboxing, I guess I should say. Yeah. But, even more than that, I think that he is more technical in his approach to the way he fights. He's not power and speed. He's more so timing and placement.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think Giga's kicks are so good. Giga Chikadze, hands underrated because his kicks are so good. And I guess that's kind of a good way to be underrated. If you're so good at one thing that people discount your ability to do something else that you're also really good at, it works to your advantage. And I think we see it in every single one of his fights where they're obviously super worried about his kicks, and they'll hit him with the hands, and he'll be like, oh, shit, that I didn't it's more impactful than they anticipated it being, both the viewers and the people that he fights.
For sure. I agree with that for sure. And then I think guys not necessarily underestimate him, but just aren't ready for – because nothing that he throws looks insanely powerful or malicious. Well, like I'm saying, it's just it's a timing thing. It's a placement thing. It's a location thing. It's where he hits you, when he hits you, because he always gets people on a counter. And he did it to Barboza a couple times last night with the Giga kick where – he'd start piecing him up with hands and then slip that left kick in right on the body, and you could see Edson had a little red mark developing on the side of his body, and it was those kicks are obviously landing pretty damn flush.
I gotta say though, Edson's body chin is nuts. A lot of those, he landed a couple clean Giga kicks and he ate them. He was landing them. Would have dropped lesser men for sure. But yeah, man, let's get into it. Big implications in the featherweight division, though. Not a number one contenders match, but I don't think it's unfair to say that the winner of this fight could find their way into a number one contenders match.
No, I think it's fair to say that the winner of this could expect to get a top 6 opponent to fight next, which essentially kind of, you beat a top 6 guy.
You're right in there.
Yeah, your name is in the hat to be drawn as a fighter for the belt.
For sure, man, and especially that's a weird division. And Giga made a really good point where he's Edson is a bigger name than essentially most of the top 5 guys, definitely more than the rest of the top 10. And he's I respect him more than I do some of the top 4, top 5 guys. It's a weird division. A lot of the top end guys aren't super active. Giga also pointed that out, loved it. And,
Josh Emmett, Arnold Allen, and Yair Rodriguez, you almost never see them fight.
Never, exactly. I think we were definitely all talking about Yair there.
Yeah, honestly, bro. And then, you know who we are not talking about at all? Zabit. Zabit's still somewhere.
Somewhere, or so they say, right?
Right, yeah.
It's been a minute, but yeah. So man, round one, I thought Giga was more active and he had the more impactful kicks to the body, of course, because he's Giga Chikadze. But isn't it just impressive how it's like a pitcher who you know he's going to throw a fastball and he throws one right down the middle and you just can't hit it because he's just that good
It's
at
just
it
that
like
good.
that.
It's like Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, yeah, no, he's just good. It's 107, so like, what can you do?
Yeah,
But
it's like, good luck.
no, but seriously though, like everybody knows Giga's gonna hit you with the left kick to the body, and Edson, if there's anybody out there that should be like equipped with to like not let that happen, it's Edson Barboza. And I just came away thinking like, damn, if he can land that at will on Edson Barboza, there's not a man walking that he can't land that on.
No, I mean, and to Edson's credit, Edson did make some good adjustments from the first to second round.
Yeah,
Because I thought the second round was a little closer than the first. I still gave it to Chikadze.
yeah.
So
I actually gave it to Edson. I liked
okay,
what
yeah.
Edson did in round two. It was a very competitive round.
Yeah, round two was a great, great round. It was super, super close. I essentially wrote that it was going to be whoever you valued. There's like whichever striking you thought was more effective, that was going to be your winner of that round. Because it was mostly all striking exchanges.
I thought the striking was pretty goddamn even. However, I did notice significantly less volume from Giga, which I thought didn't look great after a super active first round. I was quite like, damn, is he gassing? This could not be great if this goes three. And I was starting to question. I don't think that's what it was. I think it was kind of just not wanting to gas, so he did come back.
Right,
I
that's
think
what
there
I
was
think.
less volume from Giga in round two. And Edson managed to put the pressure on Giga, put Giga on the back foot more in round two. In round one, it was mainly Giga putting Edson on his back foot. And I really respected Edson's ability to make that adjustment, stick his fucking foot in the dirt and push that way. You know, against a very dangerous guy like Giga, took definitely a lot of stones. And I thought it was enough. Those little subtleties. I gave round two to Edson. Super close round, super competitive round. So,
I'm honestly, I'm not mad at that at all. Like, I can definitely see that either way. What'd you think about the they didn't put up the scorecards for. Weird.
because it ends up not mattering.
Right.
We get the finish a minute and 44 seconds into round three, which is kind of my evidence that Giga wasn't gassing in round two. But another one we got to talk about, and wasn't Herzog again? I think it was.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Because this was the other instance you were talking about. I just didn't want to give away anything about it.
No, me too. Exactly. Another potentially early stoppage, which, like I said, either one of these stoppages in a vacuum, I'm probably not feeling the same way. Two of them, same guy, same night. I feel like it's a conversation that needs to be had.
My only caveat or return to that would be that with this example is that Chikadze does the one thing that we always talk about fighters and they're never smart enough to do, is he drops Edson, has him super rocked and hurt, tries to go down to the ground and strike with him, realizes that's not what I need to be doing here, and immediately pulls back. You see him stand up and he's like, get up. As soon as Edson gets up, tags him with like 3 or 4 strong shots, drops him again, and that's when Herzog runs in.
Yeah, also Giga had that like Darce and Anaconda kind of mixed in that little scramble. I thought that was pretty impressive. The fact to even just kind of show that on film, show that little arsenal, like for a guy that's a striking heavy as Giga, just like, hey, just you got a little something to worry about on the ground. I thought it was kind of dope to show the skill set. I think this one was less bad than the other one, but like I said, neither one of them was egregious. But like I said, the fact that they both happened on the same night.
The Darren Stewart one was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Swinging, and he was a big light heavyweight. A featherweight, like his chances of swinging and getting a crazy KO are a lot less. I know it's weird. I don't know if you're supposed to interpret that or not. But like I said, if Darren Stewart would have landed one of those bombs, I mean, that could easily drop somebody. Now, he wasn't, but he was attempting to. Now, Barboza wasn't really swinging back, but he was also 100% not out. And in a weird way that's going to sound kind of contradictory, I think that Barboza was less hurt than Stewart was hurt, even though I'm saying Stewart did a better job of showing something than Barboza. Barboza was more shelled up and less active and less intelligent than Stewart. But in a weird way, based on how they reacted when the fight actually ended, I think Barboza was not that hurt. Was he rocked?
I thought
Yes.
Barboza was more intelligently defending himself than Stewart was. You know what I mean? Now,
Ooh,
granted, he's not throwing back strikes, but I
yeah,
thought he was moving. I thought
yeah,
he was fighting his way out of anacondas. He was trying to
yeah,
grapple on the ground. I mean,
yeah,
he did plenty of things to give me the idea like he's intelligently defending himself. Now, I will say for Herzog, it's like he got dropped once, grapples on the ground, gets let up, and then immediately dropped again, like when they're on the feet. So as a ref, it is one of those things of like, oh well, he can't stand with them. Like the only reason this fight's still occurring is because they're on the ground. But then again, I mean, let him go out.
yeah.
Because if he can grapple, give him the opportunity.
Yeah, man. I just thought Herzog was just making too many assumptions, right? Like, just now you can assume something and end up being right about your assumption, but I just like making the kind of like logical jumps that like Herzog was like imposing, like look, we all thought they were about to get finished, but that doesn't mean all that much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like tell that to Volkov. You know what I'm saying? Like tell that to, who's just piecing somebody up and then gets dropped at the last minute. Like tell that. I mean, there's a lot of examples.
Oh yeah, like walk-off KOs, like from guys that need it. Like think about Darren Elkins and Mirsad Bektic when the dude's down 20-17 going into the third, and then dominates the third and finishes him.
Yeah, man. And like I said, I've seen guys weather worse storms than what they were weathering. Like, I don't know, man. Herzog had a quick trigger last night. I'll say
It's
that.
weird because he usually is the guy that like gives like a lot of rope to the guys.
And maybe somebody talked to him saying he was giving too much rope. Like, was this an overcorrection? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Was there a behind doors conversation, or did he just have like a kind of like look in the mirror moment of, oh, I need to like protect these fighters more? Who knows? I mean, I guess only he knows, and we'll probably never find out. Or maybe it was just a weird night, or maybe he just kind of he guessed twice and was wrong twice, or maybe he was right twice. Like I said, it's. I'm not saying he's right or wrong on how the fight would have ended. I'm saying it's not on him to kind of connect those dots for us.
It'd be cool if the NSAC or like the other athletic commissions would do like reviews or have refs make written statements on decisions they make, like things like that. Like if Jason Herzog then had to go after the fight and fill out like a little like form that was just like, I noticed this, this, and this, so I stopped the fight due to this, and like would actually give you like a criteria as to why he thought that fight should be stopped. I would love it if they would do that. And Herb Dean will come on like his Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and he'll do that sometimes with fans when he's getting blown up about shit calls that he makes, because Herb Dean has a tendency to do that.
Yeah, man. And if it was Herb Dean, I'd probably be a little more up in arms. Herzog, they said, I guess I'm going to give him a pass. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, quick trigger on two separate ones that were like eerily similar, right? Like, weren't they like pretty goddamn similar? Like, just like
Super similar as far as the view and the look. Yeah.
Like, yeah, they just very similar. Two early triggers. Definitely don't want that to be the main takeaway, though, because the main takeaway is we got a top flight featherweight on our hands, and he called out Holloway. He also did a really smart thing that old Uncle Chill always says more fighters should do, is he called to be the backup fighter in the championship fight.
I thought that was genius. I thought calling out Holloway was a big reach.
I thought it was a big reach, but not if that division is like bogged down. It's like if Volkanovski wins, there's like a lot of people who want to see Volkanovski Holloway 3, but on that list of people is probably not Volkanovski, because he's like, I'm 2-0 against this guy. Paper 2-0, say what you want to say. There's not a whole lot of precedence of a trilogy fight based on an 0-2. Now, so that's why I'm saying if Holloway just finds himself wanting to work and wanting to fight and wanting and if it's that much of a stretch, then it should be an easy night out at the office for him, which I don't think it is. I don't think Chikadze is an easy night out at the office.
No, not for any of these guys.
And so
I
love the call out.
Only guy that actually has like I think a clear path to victory over Chikadze is Volkanovski, because he's such a dynamic wrestler and grappler along with his striking prowess.
Yeah, man. But at the same time, that fucking button, that nuclear button could be hit at any given moment with a Giga kick. And so That's what I'm saying. I think I didn't hate the Holloway call out. I think now, do I think it'll necessarily happen? Only if Holloway finds himself like, damn, do I want to wait 9 months to fight and earn a living? You know what I'm saying? Like if he finds himself in just like I need a fight and Yair's never gonna fight and fucking Volkanovski may not want to give me the next title shot or whatever the case may be. I could see if Holloway finds himself just like literally wanting to fight. I mean, hell, it's been 6 months since he's fought already. If he finds himself wanting to fight again before the end of the year, Giga may be essentially the only option. But I'm just saying though, like these guys get paid when they fight. It's not like they're on salary. They're not getting like checks by week and month. I'm saying if you haven't got paid in 6 months. I don't know what his bank account looks like. I mean, he's had a
I'm
long
sure.
career.
I'm sure he's pretty well paid. He's got a lot of bonuses. Like he's fought a long time. He's been a champ, so he gets like I think 150 now every time he shows.
I feel it though, but I'm just saying. I mean, you don't know how much he spends, or
definitely don't.
You don't know. I mean, who knows what these? I'm just saying, if a guy finds himself in need of work, Giga threw his name in the hat, and I think Giga put himself in like a Mike Chandler-esque type of scenario. How he was the backup fighter for Giga Chikadze, kind of inserted himself in the conversation, and that's what he did, right? We're talking about it. Other people are talking about it. Giga took his name and elevated it in the same conversation as all those other guys, especially with his activity in a division of non-active fighters.
For me, I would just like to see if he's the replacement fighter for someone who misses weight. I'm all good with that. That for sure makes sense to me. I think for Giga, the next fight he should have is Korean Zombie, Calvin Kattar, or Arnold Allen, which are 4, 5, and 6 in the division. But I think he just needs to establish a top 5 win, and then he can challenge for the belt.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, and I think those would all be sick fights. I think he went. Oh, him versus Kattar. That does.
Yeah, right. That's a
I think
fire
Korean
fight.
Zombie. I just think of like a punching bag. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But Kattar.
That's a fun one. Super fun.
Yeah, that could be a lot
Super
of fun,
fun.
man. But yeah, fun card, fun episode, bro. I appreciate your time, man. Thanks for everybody that tuned in on Instagram. Go over to our YouTube, Beefy Boys Breakdown. Please hit that subscribe button. Share a video with your friends that like UFC. You know, we're a community UFC fans. It's not for everybody, but for those that do love it, they would probably enjoy hearing us talk about it. Share some videos on your social media. Give us a follow on Twitter at Beefy Breakdown. And yeah, just support the Beefy Boys Breakdown, everybody, and just keep enjoying these fights as much as we are.